All right, for an update on these elections, we're now joined on the line by our correspondent Nthakoana Ngatane. She's in the capital, Maseru. Nthakoana, thank you for joining us. Firstly, what has happened to the Prime Minister who called these elections Mosisili?
Well, Francis, I think let's start by saying that the final results have now come out. The other 40 seats of proportional representation have now been allocated, putting Thom Thabane's Lesotho convention at 48 seats, giving the Democratic Congress, the Prime Minister's party, 30 seats, the Lesotho Congress of Democracy, Lesotho Congress for Democracy, the Deputy Prime Minister's party, 11. Now, Thom Thabane's allies combined make 63. That gives them a clear majority to now start government if they sign a coalition government. But Mosisili's allies, unfortunately, only make 44. So they will need to convince other parties to get into a coalition with them before they even start thinking about government. Now, what has happened to Mosisili now? We have yet to hear, because right now we are just coming out of the results center where it is celebrations galore. Members of the four parties that now have victory, whose leaders are now going into a coalition government, are celebrating outside the Mothetjoa Convention Center, which is the results center here in the capital, Maseru, saying they are happy that their hard work has finally paid off. Francis?
All right, so Thom Thabane is back, and he's a former Prime Minister. Just outline his role in Lesotho's recent history.
Well, Francis, you remember that Thom Thabane has been a constant figure in Lesotho since the 70s as a civil servant, but joined politics in 1993 when the Congress parties took over as an advisor to the Prime Minister then, Dr. Mothetjoa. Then he became a minister in that government, eventually breaking away after the Lesotho Congress for Democracy had broken away from the Lesotho Congress Party. He broke away from the Lesotho Congress for Democracy in 2007 to form his own All Lesotho Convention. Right from the beginning, he started very high, becoming a serious contender. And 2012, he then managed to get into government with Mothetjoa Metsing, who had been left by Mosisili in the Lesotho Congress for Democracy, making the first coalition of Lesotho. At that time, the All Lesotho Convention went into a coalition with the Lesotho Congress for Democracy and the Lesotho National Party. Now that coalition fell flat in 2015 when we went to another election. And of course, he then went out of office into the opposition once again. Now he is back. Francis?
And at one stage, just outline for us, he was ousted by the army. And I think we've spoken about his relationship with the army this week. You said that there really is no love lost there. Could we even see another coup? Are there fears of that?
Well, I don't think this time around that is anywhere on the cards. Because what has happened since 2014, in fact, even that coup was contested by Metsing, who was his deputy, saying that, in fact, agreeing with the army rather, that the army was disarming the police who were intending to harm some members of the Congress who were going to march. But of course, Thabane denies that. He says that then Commander Kadika Mudi had actually attempted a coup, and therefore he fled the country. And that was in August 2014. Those events have come back today, Francis, because today again, Metsing in his statement, that is now very controversial, saying that the army helped them to get back into power. And now he says that what he was actually trying to say was that in 2014, when the police were trying to quell a protest of the Congress parties, the army then quelled it, and they were not able to carry it out. This is why they were able to live and come into government eventually. But of course, people are saying, no, that is not so, because all throughout this period, Metsing has been associated with the army. and therefore they are demanding an explanation for that statement. And until he comes out and explains, I guess they will go with what they believe he was trying to mean. Francis?
Okay, Nthakoana, so I guess what we can take from this is that Lesotho politics has been complicated. A lot of coalitions, the government has been unstable, a checkered past with the military. So my final question, and very quickly, what does this mean for stability going forward, the results of these elections? Could things get better?
Well, if this incoming government, and they have promised to do that, all the parties signed a pledge to implement the reforms, to hold a multi-stakeholder dialogue, to implement reforms post-elections, but also this particular alliance, even before the motion of no confidence, was selling a message of reconciliation, of forgetting the past, of looking at Lesotho and putting Basotho first, and forgetting the differences that they say or that they accuse the Mosisili alliance and government of perpetuating. So if they stick to that message, and of course we had Thom Thabane this evening speaking on one of our radio stations on SABC, saying he was asked if he was going to pursue the charges against Menyane Moleleki. Those were related to corruption with mining, and he repeats that it is a time of reconciliation. The Lesotho must forgive and forget and build anew. Francis?
All right. Thank you for great analysis as always. Our correspondent in Metsing, Nthakoana Ngatane.